Hello friends, today I am with another topic titled with Intercultural Communication. Without wasting time, let's get into the topic. Intercultural communication is a discipline that studies communication across different culture and social groups or how culture affects communication. It describes the wide range of communication processes and problems that naturally appear within an organization or social context made up of individuals from different religions, social, ethnic, and educational backgrounds. Intercultural communication derives from the word culture and communication. Culture is the way of life of a people. It is a social system which comprises the values, norms, and ways of behaving in a human society. William defines culture as the human part of environment. Communication is a process of conveying messages from one to another person through a channel. Kettner defined the communication process is a chain made up of identifiable links. Links in this process include sender, encoding, medium, decoding, receiver, and feedback. There are two types of communication, which is known as verbal and non-verbal. Verbal communication is the usage of words to create a message. In this case, word can be either written or spoken. Therefore, verbal communication includes both written language and spoken language. Non-verbal communication is a part of process when one tries to convey message on or a meaning in his action whether the person is intended to or not. Differences in culture, region, and ethnicity are easy triggers if intracultural communication skills are ignored. Below stated a few points on the importance of intercultural communication among nations. First will be the best understanding of our own identity. Intercultural communication helps to develop a sensitivity to various cultural heritages and backgrounds to better understand our own identity. In her book Torn Between Two Cultures, written by Marianne Cordon SL says, "It was through the experience of living and being raised in the United States that I came to truly appreciate and understand my own religion, heritage, culture, attitude, and language. Our decision about the values we want to adopt and continue holding the lifestyle or orientation we wish to pursue, and even the friends we want to have, not to mention the major occupation or professions we desire, are affected by racial, culture, gender, and social class factors that affect your personal identity, who we are, and who we want to be. This suits Malaysians too, where each Malaysian brings their own self-images or identity to each communicative encounter. Every communication interaction is affected by their identities. For example, when elderly people converse with teenage, both groups have the accommodated for difference in their experience and language use. For example, in Indian society, it's a traditional to greet people using namaste. Place both hands together and bow slightly. In urban areas, this is often overlooked. But when it comes to family, it is a must to greet elders and superior. Enhancing personal and social interaction. The broader our outlook, the more tolerant and accommodating we become. The chances of we having close personal interaction with those different from us, whether in age, physical ability, gender, ethnicity, class, religion, race, or nationality, are increasing daily. Such relationships help us learn about the world, break stereotypes, and acquire new skills. Moreover, as you are trying to understand other culture, remember to treat those culture as equal to your own. Everyone is tempted to consider their own way of doing things as superior. For example, when your neighborhood plans to celebrate their festivals such as Hari Raya, you may go and help them with the preparation. Directly, you had made a strong and good relationship with your neighborhood, and indirectly, you may learn their cultures. This also will work out only when you have a maintain good and fine communication between these two families, which is from two different ethnic. The third point will be solving misunderstanding, miscommunication, and mistrust. Until recently, our nation has not learned, nor has it needed to learn, to be multiculturally competent. The study of intercultural communication will not just unlock doors closed for generation, it will open those doors and thus resolve misunderstanding, miscommunication, and mistrust through honest, open positive, healthy communication. People not only fear but they also disturb the unknown. Trust is gained through knowledge and understanding. The fact is that intercultural conflicts are not going to disappear for as long as individuals or groups will be different. There will be a conflict. However, spreading message of tolerance and educating others about intercultural relations can reduce the rate of those conflicts. Indeed, being open-minded reduces tension when interacting with others, leading more likely to cooperation instead of competition. We must remind ourselves that our culture isn't better than the others, just different. We should not judge by others by comparing their culture to our own, since we are already biased in favor of our own. Culture difference to the mix and the source of potential problems multiply. Whether you are a student, business person, or traveler, knowing the barriers to intracultural communication is the first step to overcoming problems. I have discussed three major challenges that I discovered throughout my studies. Language differences are an obvious challenges to intracultural communication. If you are speak English only and a shopkeeper speak only Chinese, you're not able to communicate verbally. Even if you are study the language or an interpreter is available, dialects, different accents and slang can cause problem. In addition, word doesn't necessarily translate from one language to another in a clean one-to-one correspondence. The same English word may have different meaning to people from different culture. Different language not only affect locally but also global. For example, international communication and global business are also affected by language. Thus, the pressing needs for localization. To effectively do business in other countries, a company must be able to deliver the messages to the employee and target audience in a language that can be correctly and clearly understood. Localization means that all forms of communication must be translated into the local language so that interpretation is clear. Local employee training and corporate culture must conform to local culture, while intercultural training of expertise and global executive can be done in other language. It should be very personalized and written according to the experience and culture of the people who are receiving the training. The next challenges will be negative stereotype and prejudice. Stereotype and prejudice about people from other culture can cause communication problem and give offense. Ethnocentrism or a belief that your own culture is better than that of others can lead to acting superior towards other group and not treating them well. For example, a teacher in an American college may think that students from a certain culture lack strong English skill or are incapable of good work. This prejudice can lead the teacher to treat the students unfairly. This shows internal crisis between two or more ethnic in a country. However, stereotypes and prejudice will affect globally too. This clearly seen in the coronavirus cases that attacked the entire world. The COVID-19 virus originated in China and many blame the Chinese for bringing the virus to the rest of the world because it is difficult for many of non-Asian people to distinguish among different Asian subgroups. All Asians are treated as culprit. The COVID-19 pandemic will eventually end, but the hate has inflamed and may haunt them for a long time. The third challenge is level of content. Most English speaking culture are low content, meaning they put a message into explicit words. In this culture, saying no when you mean no is just considered straightforward or honest. High content culture such as Japan expect the listener to pick up more meaning from the general situation. For example, Asians sometimes say yes or maybe when they actually mean no. According to Diversity Council, Asians often consider an outright refusal blunt rather than honest. Although the concept of high and low context culture is usually applied in the field of analyzing national or global culture, it can also be used to describe scientific or corporate cultures or specific settings such as airports and law courts. A specified example mentioned by Hall is that scientists working in hard science field like chemistry and physics tend to have lower context culture because their knowledge and models have fewer variables. They will typically include less context for each event they describe. In contrast, scientists working with living system need to include more contexts because they have be significant variables which impact the research outcomes. Effectiveness of intercultural communication among Malaysians can be defined in terms of three primary attributes, that is knowledge, skills, and attitudes. First of all, we will look at attitude. Respect, openness, tolerance, and curiosity discovery are key attitudes required for efficient intercultural communication. Consideration for the others, active listening, or showing that they are appreciated and valued are especially important to create lasting relationship with people with different beliefs and values. Openness and curiosity refers to the willingness to move beyond our comfort zone. This attribute clearly seen among Malaysians, especially their respect towards the azan, halal food, burning of joysticks, and ceremonial gift as offering to ancestors during the Hungry Ghost Festival and Taipusam are the among examples which Malaysians understand and respect each other different beliefs and cultures. Moreover, discrimination based on religion and racial differences is against the federal constitution. Article 3.1 of the Constitution says that Islam is the religion of the Federation but provides that other religion may be practiced in a peace and harmony in any part of the Federation. Article 8 provides for equality before the law for all persons, and Article 11.1 gives every person the right for process and practice his or her religion. This constitutional provision must be respected and upheld. The next will be knowledge. When we refer to culture defined as the belief, values, and norms of a group of people that influence individual communication behaviors, more categories of knowledge can be considered: socialistic and awareness, culture self-awareness, culture specific knowledge, and deep culture knowledge. Knowledge sharing is an important activity that enhances an individual capability to retrieve new data and resources for the purpose of learning, problem solving, and self-improvement. The development of information communication technology plays an essential role in the creation of knowledge sharing activity, as it provides a platform for people to do activities such as posting questions and answer, discussion, messaging, storytelling, as well as sharing experience. It allows rapid communication and interaction among people as the distance barriers have been minimized. Dahlia noted that culture values of Malaysian among them were honesty, knowledgeable, and trustworthiness. This refers to the fact that information and knowledge sharing were based on values that are crucial to knowledge development. Skills. Observing, listening, analyzing, evaluating, interpreting, and relating are the key abilities used for processing the acquired knowledge. Also essential to the development of intercultural competence in critical self-reflection. This attribute can be seen clearly during ice-breaking activity that usually conduct among Malaysian students. Students need to be exposed to ice-breaking activities and greeting more fully, as these are important features of conversation which will help them to start communicating with anybody. The same applies to the other, whoever the person might be. The implication here suggests that building confidence is important. As such, the habit of initiating intercultural or interpersonal communication should be taught. Such skills are trainable, but the crucial thing is to train students to initiate interpersonal communication in the way intercultural communication competitors can be realized, and intercultural encounter can occur meaningfully and effectively. If the key attitudes, knowledge, and skills are acquired, ideally internally outcomes as empathy, flexibility, and adaptability will be achieved. As a result, individual will become able to respond to the other person according to his or her expectation. The effectiveness of communication would be a result of the amount of skills and knowledge required. Here we come to the end of the session. Differences between cultures still exist and people need to aware of that fact. Gaining experience accepting those differences and looking for similarity instead of difference create a good basis for effective communication across culture. There are certain challenges that come across intercultural communication. Barriers such as prejudice, anxiety, centralized language, and assumption of similarity are most significant ones to consider. These challenges are significant and must be removed to make intercultural communication effective. For this purpose, a solution for intercultural communication is that individuals must attain a basic understanding of each other's culture and thoughts. This will reduce the impact of interfering challenges that come across while engaging in the intercultural interaction. Hope you all enjoy my video. Thanks for watching my presentation. Bye.